Hello and welcome to Tea Time with Torloth. Today, I'm talking Xbox and Xbox Game Pass, because that's what this week was all about, in my opinion. That's what Microsoft was trying to nail home, is the value of Game Pass. Let's get into it. So just before the showcase, on Jeff Keighley's stream, there was 2 games announced that I really cared about. There was 4, I think, but 2 that I really cared about. Dragon Quest XI-S, finally getting an Xbox version. That's actually a huge deal. And Balan Wonderworld. I'm going to start with Dragon Quest here, though. And the reason I say this is a big deal is because this is the first time a Dragon Quest game has ever appeared on Xbox. And I hope it does well. And I hope they decide to bring their games forward to all platforms. Because nothing is as annoying to me as platform exclusivity on third-party games. Like, there's no reason why it needed to be just on PS4 and Switch. But even this version wasn't on PS4. This one was only on the Switch. JRPG fans rejoice, you're finally getting representation on another platform. Hopefully this means that more JRPG fans will consider the Xbox, and there'll be some good numbers in Japan, so smaller Japanese devs will decide to move there. The next game I want to talk about is Balan Wonderworld. I don't know, I almost cried watching this. Like, I teared up because it's something I hadn't seen in so long, and something I kind of dreamed about and was just so excited to see. It just looked magical. I absolutely love Sonic. He's one of my favorite characters, poorly represented in the later years of his existence. There's something so fun about watching these 2 men talk about their game. And I know some people will be like, well, they don't emote a lot. It's kind of a Japanese thing to try not to emote or to be very stern. But just looking at the final product and the way it moves and the way it's animated, they love this game. They love this kind of game, and I am ready to play it when it comes out in spring of 2021. Okay, that's the pre-show out of the way. Next, let's talk Halo. Halo Infinite was disappointing to some people. Some people said it looked very bland. It looked very backwards, but they're going for this open world style with a linear story. I don't know what that'll mean, but like all things, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So until I can eat the pudding or play the game in this regard, it's not going to happen. So I'm not going to comment on much. We did see a lot of gameplay here, about 7 or so minutes of it. I have probably it playing right now. There was a couple things that turned me off a little bit, or were just not quite right. But this game's still in development, and this is apparently a couple months old, this build. And when you have a demo and a functioning version done, there's so much more work that could have been done afterwards. And people are working from home, so best not to mess with it. I don't hate what I saw. I don't think it looks polished for a full game, but I also think that the memes and the craziness that's going on is a little nuts, and we can just back off that a bit. In the same vein as shooty games, there was one called Crossfire X that looked kind of interesting. I saw Remedy's logo and I was instantly interested. Now they're working on this with another studio, but there was like espionage, there was first-person gunplay, looked like there's some actual gameplay there, and it sounded like the multiplayer was separate and free to play. So I don't know. Crossfire X looks really cool. And then I saw Everwild. I don't remember the exact order of this, but I remember seeing Everwild and being a little confused on what the game actually is. It's beautiful, it's fantastical, but I don't know what I'm actually going to do in the game. And when it launches at some point, I am looking forward to finding out what the game actually is. The Medium. You're never gonna not hear me talk about this game until I actually play it and do video on it. And even then I might just talk about it forevermore. Who knows? It could end up on the Game of the Year list. I don't know what to say. Every time they show this game, I just get more interested. And they're like, okay, so Series X and PC, you'll be able to play this game. And there's 2 different worlds rendered at the same time, and you can interact with them at the same time. And you need to use both worlds to solve puzzles. This is very interesting. I'm hooked. I was already sold when you showed me the first trailer. It looks like Silent Hill in Poland. Sign me up. They also showed The Outer World getting a new expansion. I don't know what else to say about it. I thought The Outer Worlds was a fine game. I kind of lost interest halfway through it, more because the gunplay wasn't great rather than anything else. Maybe the game felt a little flat, but I think it was fine. This new expansion reminds me a little bit of Old World Blues from Fallout New Vegas. If that's the one I think it is, that's the one where you get kidnapped and your brain gets taken out of your body and somehow you used to do things and the aliens are confused. Don't think about it too much. It just reminds me of that kind of silly. Tell me why you named your game this. Because, like, I hear Tell Me Why and all I can think about is the Backstreet Boys. So I'm kind of sitting there and it's like, tell me why. And I'm like, tell me why. Now I have that song stuck in everyone's head who knows it. This is an episodic game from the developers that made Life is Strange. And where Life is Strange does not appeal to me in any way, shape, or form, this does. It's a story of 2 siblings with something crazily tragic happens between their mother and them many years ago. They're split apart for a while and are reunited as adults, young teens, older teens. I'm not sure. It's kind of sinister. There's some supernatural in it. I'm interested to see where it goes, wherever it drops. And you don't have to wait too long for this one, since the first chapter's out at the end of August. Unfortunately for Tell Me Why, Death's End Request 2 drops the weekend before, and I will be playing that. But also unfortunate for me is that there's moving to be done, since I have to be out of here by September 1st. I can't wait to be settled, people. Warhammer 40k Darktide. So I need to preface this one by saying that whenever one of these events happens, the New Game Plus, the PlayStation 1, this one, we're usually sitting on the couch together with our mother. This time my brother was asleep. This trailer comes on and I'm like, oh look, the flashlight's not working. And the other guy bumps it, it works. And I was like, it looks like Warhammer 40k. So mother called it. 1 point mother. This is a 4-player co-op FPS in a similar vein to Vermintide, made by the same developers. So this is going to be pretty interesting. Another game that really caught my attention after they actually started showing it and weren't showing a bunch of weird people playing things, Tetris Effect Connected. Now, people have always said Tetris Connect was this fantastic game. I always forget to pick it up when it's on sale, and then when I remember about it, it's always way too expensive. So I will finally play Tetris Connect. Effect, rather. And it's got co-op. It's Tetris with co-op. What's more to love? Avowed. Obsidian's making an all-new sword and sorcery RPG. Looks like it's first person, so someone akin to Skyrim. Anyone who knows anything about me knows I'm not super into Skyrim because it's a janky mess. But Obsidian has shown up Bethesda several times with their own tech or their own style, like Fallout New Vegas, which they made in 18 months, and The Outer Worlds last year, coming out and showing people how to make a Fallout game. I don't know, I think it'll be good whenever it comes out. Now they ended the show with Fable, and I have this sinking suspicion that I've seen that CGI trailer before, or something very similar to it, with the fairy flying around and being all whimsical, and and I'm smelling the rose and I'm getting eaten by a frog. I remember seeing this before. And I played recently going into this about an hour, maybe 2, maybe 3 of Fable 2 and 3. I have to be honest, they're a little rough around the edges, but they're also like 10 plus years old at this point, so I have to forgive them on a lot of fronts. This is apparently a reboot. I don't know if you really needed that for Fable. It is, however, interesting to see Fable come back now after such a long drought of content. Like Fable, I keep saying Halo. Fable 3 was in the middle or near the end. No, it was in the middle of the 360. And then when the Xbox One was announced, there was supposed to be Fable Legends, that isometric multiplayer game where one person plays like the bad evil wizard and there's 4 other players trying to get through. But that one never materialized and Lionhead is no more. So let's see what Playground Games can do and see if this one can be better. Duskfall. This is from someone who used to work at Quadratic Dreams. I lost her name, I had it written down, but it seems to be gone now. There's a power outage. Everything's been fun. It's had this creepy sort of feel, but like humanity was messed up. Honestly, it looks interesting. I have no idea what the game's gonna play like. It looked like kind of a comic book style almost. We'll have to wait and see. I was waiting for them to show up at the bar from Dusk Till Dawn, but that never happened. So I'm not sure what this game is, but it has my attention. The problem I have with all the discourse and all the discussion around the Microsoft event right now is not enough people are looking at the good. They're looking at the bad and not looking at what was good. It was thankfully short. It had a lot of games from all sorts of types to show off as a launch lineup. In the first year or two, I don't think we're going to see Avowed or State of Decay 3 until next year sometime, along with some of the other titles. I kind of want to reiterate that the big winner of the whole thing was Game Pass and Game Pass subscribers. And even though it wasn't included in the actual showing, Dragon Quest XI S is coming to Game Pass on December 4th, and that's really cool. I will play Halo Infinite, and I could play every single one of these games on my subscription and not have to pay anything extra. And that's a very good notion. That's a very powerful message to send. It's so pro-consumer that I don't understand why more people aren't talking about this in a positive light. It's kind of relieving for me when something gets announced for Game Pass and it's something I've been looking for, or was like, oh, that looks cool, I'm gonna buy that. That happened with West of the Dead for me, where West of the Dead was this cool, crazy game with Ron Perlman. I love Ron Perlman. I was like, oh, we gotta buy that. It's $25. Okay, let's wait till I get paid. And then I turned on my Game Pass app on my phone, and there it is for PC and Xbox. I was into Game Pass just before Christmas and was looking at all the games that were available for console, and there was enough there that I could justify to myself to buy a new console. There was good sales on the Xbox One S, which is what I bought, and the X, but I ended up buying the S. Kind of regret it now, but it's fine. And that also came with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. After I got that Xbox, and after we got it home, the week after, my mother and I got incredibly sick. My mother got so bad that she was hospitalized over Christmas into New Year's. I'm gonna be honest, when you're sick or you're waiting for phone calls, just having something different to play or just a bunch of things you can look at and play was a godsend. I took the Xbox with me to their New Year's party. Was like, hey guys, we've Jump Force. We play Jump Force. I've got Killer Instinct, there's Perfect Dark, I have all these games. You guys want to play something? I even have the Halo and 4 controllers. Somehow I have 4 Xbox controllers. If you guys want to play good old 4-player split screen deathmatch like we used to back in high school. It was fun, and a lot of people in the group made fun of me for buying an Xbox. After this year and how many games I haven't had to buy, I've realized how valuable Game Pass is to me. I've only purchased a handful of games this year. I bought that physical copy of Code Vein. I had pre-ordered Doom Eternal, Resident Evil 3, and that's about it. I did purchase Dusk, Iris Falls, and a Medieval, and DuckTales Remastered on the Steam Summer Sale. But I've been very picky and choosy with which games I want to buy, because I don't know if they're going to be on Game Pass or if there's something else I'm going to want to play. I really do appreciate what Xbox is going for. This consumer first approach. Your old games will work. Your saves aren't going anywhere. We have Game Pass, and it sounds like they're getting rid of, or all their first party games are going to have free to play multiplayer, or just multiplayer that's not attached. But we'll see what Xbox has in the future. Right now, I think if you're looking at next gen consoles and you're considering the Xbox and you liked what they showed, honestly, I think it's worth it. Especially since for a monthly subscription of about $10 a month, you can have access to all those games. But if you have a decent PC, for that same $5 or $10 a month that it is right now, you can have PC Game Pass, and for $15 you get both. And Xbox Live Gold right now, but I don't know if that's staying. But that's it for this week. If you liked the video, remember to hit that thumbs up. If you have a comment about your favorite game from the expo, or the one that maybe convinced you that it could be worth at least getting Game Pass to try the game on PC, let me know. Next week will be another video. Be sure to come back and check it out then. But until then, mata ne!